The genetic matrix calendar is a wonderful tool for showing the transit field at any point in time in the past or the future. And the calendar also gives you various ways to look at how the transit field is impacting you or the selected person for that day. So we're going to just go through the basics of using the calendar here. You can access the genetic matrix calendar by clicking the calendar icon, which is in the site header, and you can also access it through the create new chart page. You will see it as a tool down the bottom of that particular page, and when you click that icon, the GM calendar will open, and it will open with this default view. Now, looking at the various aspects here, the first thing you need to clearly select is the name of the person you want to see this calendar for. The calendar is not generic, it's relative to the person that you have selected. So here we have the drop down on the top left, which will list every name in your GM hub that you have created as a person. And for the calendar, just select the person you want. Here we have Denzel Washington. The field on the top right here is how you navigate to a particular date that you want to see on the calendar. Clearly, you can just type in any date in the year, month, day format. You can see that I've put in 2027 February the 25th, but if you click on that field, you'll get a little calendar icon, and you can just scroll through and change what you want to change on there, and you'll notice immediately that the calendar will update and you will get the new view based on that particular date. And clearly, relative to the transit, it's all about where the planets are at any particular time. And you have flexibility here to display either your local time, wherever you are in the world, or you can have everything as universal coordinated time. Now, this time zone drop down you can change here, but if you consistently want to see your local time zone and have that appear every time you open the calendar, well, all you have to do is go to the settings section of your GM hub and locate the default time zone here that I'm highlighting, and then select the time zone that you want for your particular local time. This will then be communicated to the calendar and will become the default for the calendar every time you look at it. And clearly make sure you hit update when you have changed anything in terms of the default time zone. Looking at the fields on the bottom row, far left, this is where you select the view of the particular data that you want. It defaults as the month view here. This is your traditional month calendar, and I do go through what these aspects mean in another video that you can select from inside your hub. But if you want to see the next 7 days from the date that you selected up here, that is something you can select from this drop down here, and you will get the 7-day view. And again, through another video that you can access, you will see a video about this 7-day view and what all of the icons and the data being displayed to you means referentially. And there are two other views on this drop down. The day view, this gives you the maximum amount of detail relative to that person. And then the final view here is called the lunar month transition view. This is particularly of relevance to reflectors out there that want to see the movement of the moon as it progresses through the month selected, and thus on any particular day you can see where the moon is aspecting your design and creating channels. But of course that view is also usable by any type, but it's particularly valuable for reflectors given the nature of their strategy and decision making process, which is to wait a lunar month and allow all of this conditioning to move through you in order to ultimately get the clarity on that decision. The drop down in the middle is showing you the calculation method used. Clearly, Human Design is a tropical based system, and I would advise you to leave it with the tropical based calculation, but we of course make the other available, which is a sidereal calculation, and of course the calendar as a result is going to change its data based on that input. The only other aspects on this top menu area are these two icons here. You can create a PDF download of the visible calendar that is on the screen there, and you can also create a JPEG, and of course you can utilize those downloads for emailing the calendar or utilizing that calendar data for your purposes. And finally, the GM calendar is interactive, meaning that where you click on the calendar, relevant data or information will be displayed in the area down below the calendar, and that is in a different place depending on which calendar view you have selected. So if I click on this 19 here, you will see that the tooltip down the bottom will show you all of the information about the 19th gate, that particular fifth line where the sun is, and then information pertaining to that line, color, tone, base, and so on. So lots of information to read about any of the calendar aspects impacting the person that you have selected. So these are the basics of utilizing this calendar, and in the subsequent videos you will see a video about each one of these calendar views and what the data, the icons actually mean.